All right, hi everyone. I'm going to go ahead and do a quick demonstration of how to use Google Jamboard. Google Jamboard is part of Google Drive or the Google system, however you want to call it. So you will access it through Google Drive. You'll go ahead to this top left and click New. You'll scroll down and click More. Then you'll see a menu come up with a bunch of different options. You'll go down to the orange icon that says Google Jamboard, and you will go ahead and create one. As this is loading, I'm going to go ahead and switch over so you can see this. So you'll notice right away that the top of the toolbar, or sorry, the top of the page is fairly blank in comparison to some of the other applications that Google has, which makes this uniquely user-friendly. So up front, where it says one of one, you actually can create the arrow or drag the arrow a couple of times and create different frames or slides. You can expand them down so you can view each one. Okay, you can also set the background. So let's say on the first page, you want students to practice their handwriting. We have a pen on this left-hand side on the top of the toolbar, and there's lined paper for them to use. I used this a lot with my students when we were fully virtual, and it was very advantageous for them. So you can go ahead and do that. Right below that pen, we have an eraser. Right below that, we have a cursor just to scroll around and click through things. You'll notice that the lined paper was not on the second frame or the third. It is frame by frame that you can choose and change that background, which is nice. Below that, we've got sticky notes. You can change the color of the sticky note. And this is really helpful. I've put prompts, essential questions, bell ringers, or opening activities, and made students type responses. I just wrote hey in that response. But they can type the response, they can enlarge or um, condense their sticky note based on the needs. Below that, you can add or you can add photos or URLs for students to click on and access. You can also insert circles or other shapes. I've used the arrows, which you click to the right of that circle and you get more of those shape options, but I've used the arrows for progression charts and graphic organizers before. And then this right below it, you've got a text box. You just click and it appears. You could type in a word. I can't type, but I'm going to say how. Then I can drag the corner of that box and make my font bigger or smaller based again on the needs or what I'm looking for. And that last option on this left-hand toolbar is actually a laser pointer. So I can circle my main ideas and kind of draw attention to an item and then release it and that laser kind of fades away. Okay, so I can clear my frame. Jamboard is pretty simple looking. It's very condensed, which makes it user-friendly for both teachers and students. Before I show you a couple examples that I've put together, I want to just tell you and inform you that this view that you see as a teacher is also what the students see. That's very common with Google applications, but it's very easy to help guide a student through things if they find something challenging. For example, if Bob says, I don't know how to make a sticky note, you can say, okay, Bob, look at your left-hand side. Go ahead and go past the pen or that first object, second object, third object. We see that arrow, and right below it is that sticky note that we need. Click the color that warms your heart and go ahead and type your response. Okay, and so because they look the same for both teacher and student, you're able to walk them through a lot easier. Okay, so while I situate myself over, I'm going to show you a couple lessons that I've used Jamboard for and kind of the different parts of Jamboard that I found really enjoyable. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and share this. I did a math lesson on partial quotients, which is division, and I made like mild, medium, spicy problems. I was able with the Post-it notes to color coordinate. So green was mild, yellow was medium, pink is spicy. And this was also differentiated. So this was given to students in different breakout rooms. And they had an EA or a para with them. And so it says the directions are there are 6 partial quotient problems on this Jamboard. You must do at least 4 of them. And so I wanted students to try one of each, but obviously for my students who were maybe lower and needed more assistance, they put just those mild problems, medium, and kind of had that differentiation based on who the instructor was and who the students were and what their needs were. So So when you scroll through, you'll notice that I actually use text boxes for students to go through this division process with lots of question marks. And what they would do is double click on the question mark, and then they could delete the question marks and write whatever number they needed to. Um, and so that's kind of how they navigated it. For students who that was a lot of work, or maybe they were not as skilled on the computer, they could just click on the post-it note and type their answer. So that's also an option for them. And you'll notice just the problems got harder, and then I had ratio tables for them as well. The ratio tables were pictures that were inserted, and then I had those movable, editable pieces to it. On a different Jamboard that I created that I will pull up for you, you will see that I took a little bit of a different approach. So this one was focused, and it's loading, so excuse the buffer, but this one was focused on decimals and connecting it to the real world. And so I had my students, and again, here's that frame by frame look. So you can see all of my different frames up top as well as the bottom. Okay, but I had my students try to order food. Sorry, I'm going to scroll back. It's going to be really quick. I had my students pick a restaurant that they wanted to eat at, and there was a budget with that restaurant. So I did Olive Garden, Outback, and Buffalo Wild Wings. With this specific assignment, I actually partnered with Google Classroom and had those menus readily available for my students there. And then they were able to just click from Google Classroom right into their Jamboard, and it was a really fluid and easy process for them to use it. For this one, I had them use sticky notes for all of their answers. Okay, and you'll see that I typed mostly and just used some sticky notes, not as many photos as this one. You can see that the font is big, or I can make it smaller based on how much text I need on the pages. Um, and so I think it is really user-friendly and simple, and because it's so simply built, it's a lot easier for students to understand. Just so you know, I hope you enjoyed using Jamboard, but I have used it at the elementary, middle school, and high school level. So I do have experience, in all ages tend to really enjoy using it. So I hope you found this demonstration helpful and that you use this in your classroom in the future.